Ruchi, good evening. Just 1 minute. One file that learning and acquisition file is there or not, I don't know. I was waiting for you. After that, when you did not showed up, so after that only I went, and I don't know when I slept. I was waiting for your call and suddenly I slept. Yeah, I'm starting. It should show. Yeah, starting. No, I was free. I was waiting for you. Just starting the class. 2 minutes. File I need to open. I tried opening. See, learning and acquisition, we have already discussed that this is a very important topic and we must do this topic nicely. After that, what do you call? After that, we didn't know what and all work we is left, so we did not finish that. So now we are going to finish this work. See, concept of learning already we have discussed. Types of learning, motor learning, verbal learning we have discussed. Conceptual learning also we have discussed. Factor affecting learning. What and all are the factors which are exactly affecting learning? We came to know that what and all factors are there which is affecting learning, like what you call factor related to learning is learner motivation determines the intensity of learning. Yes, now first is how much you are motivating the person, that will determine the intensity of learning. This is one of the most important thing. Second is learner's efficiency or mental capacity. So this part also we have finished, Ruchi. We have checked this part, learner interest in aptitude towards the subject totally depends upon the learner, the one who is learning. If he or she is not capable of doing that work, it is actually waste. Learner general health, that's also very very important. Learner attention, readiness and willpower, these things are very important for letting a person study. Understood or not? Now factor related to teachers, after that it's not only for learner, the teacher also should be to that level. Then teacher command over the subject, that's very very important. For teaching, the most important deadline is the subject command over teacher. See, one very important point to be noted that most of the time the total burden goes to the teacher. The teacher is the one who will take the burden of the subject and she is the one who is going to incorporate the entire knowledge. So it's the most important part. So teacher plays a crucial role in everyone's life. Next is teacher's way of communicating. So whenever a teacher is communicating, the teacher must know the well-versed way to communicate to the subject. That's the most important part. I hope you might have understood this one. Teacher personality and attitude towards learner. That's the most important. Another important thing is subject का knowledge होना चाहिए. Personality is most important. The most important thing is how your personality is and in which way you are incorporating the knowledge. See, personality plays a very vital role. If you have a very good, nowadays what happened is, see, you are having all type of knowledge. but that knowledge is of no use, to be very true. So आपको सब कुछ पता है, you know everything, but that is of no use. The reason behind why it is of no use, because you can't be able to utilize it. Why you can't be able to utilize it? Because you don't know how to speak. Communication is either building the gap or it is making a gap. So communication is one of the most important thing. You should know how to communicate. If you are a very good, you are having the skill of communication, means you will definitely bridge up the things. And if you are bridging up the things, means people will be able to interact with you. Most important in a classroom, what is needed is the interactions. If you are having the interaction with the students, 100% you will be able to come out with the solution. That's most important in this area. So 110%, whenever we are talking about anything like language and acquisition, the acquired knowledge of a teacher will play the very vital role here. Understood? So now here, teacher personality and attitude towards learner is most important. Next is teacher behavior with student. 100%, how you are interacting with the student will do most of the work. If your interaction with the student is weak, then you will never be able to bridge up the gap between you and the student, because most of the topic what you are going to teach will be new, most of the topic will be weird, and that time you need a better communication with the student. And if you are unable to keep up the communication skill, means it will not be good for the student. The student will not show interest to learn from you. That is the most important thing. Now look here, factor related to environment, teaching materials and human resources. See, it's not only about the teacher and the student. What you are teaching is also important. See, the content, the topic, the subject, the material, everything is important. So if any material you are taking up and teaching, that material has to be to that level where the student will be able to study that. So 100% the material also plays the most vital role. So here, this is the most important thing. You must know what you are teaching. You must know whom you are teaching. You must know which content you are teaching and how you are teaching. So here, the entire syllabus is based on your learning and your teaching experience. Understood? Structure and size of classroom is very important, because in a class of 50 students, how much you are taught, how much you are well versed, you won't be able to have the pace, because 50 students are there, 50 different minds are there, 50 different languages. Maybe language may be similar or some language will be varied, but 50 different type of person is there whom you are interacting with. Understood not? And that time you have to be well versed. You have to know the things nicely what you are delivering. If you are not knowing, means it is definitely not going to be good. So I hope you might have understood. Availability of appropriate subject material to facilitate. Here, books, material, content, everything is very important. Vishnu, shouting. People says that school environment is very important, but along with the school environment, the second factor that is very important is the home environment, because home is the basic background of the student. If the basic background of the student is quarrelsome, means where very usual fights are there, misunderstanding between the family people are there, economic situation is not good, food availability is not good, then definitely the student will come with strains. And if the students will come with strains, they will never be able to pass on that level of peace to you. So that time what will happen, you have to fight two wars, one war of mental war, and second war is to stabilize the student, because the student you are getting is not a stabilized one. You have to first make that student out of that frame from home. You have to make the student out of the frame from social what you call the background. You have to let the student go with your rhythm. So that's also one of the biggest challenge. Home environment of the learner. So many factors are there. Conducive environment of learner is very important. Second is structure and size of classroom is important. Subject material and facilities are important, like classroom chair should be there, proper ventilation should be there, light should be proper, gaps should be there between the students so that they will not feel cozy. There should be proper sound what you call check should be there. It should not be very loudy, or it should not be very noisy. The light materials, the light in the classroom should be appropriate. So home environment of the learner is most important. I hope you might have understood. Now, concept of acquisition. So if somebody will be asking you about the concepts, let's talk about it. When language is learned naturally and without any systematic practice, it is called acquisition. That's what last class I had discussion with you. What is exactly the meaning of acquisition and when we can acquire anything? Ruchi, I think you are in a state to answer the question. What do you mean by acquisition according to you? What is acquisition according to you? If somebody will be asking you acquisition, what do you mean by the word acquisition, and how you are going to infiltrate the word acquisition? What do you mean by the term acquisition? Because I really wish to know from you, what does acquisition mean from you? Yes, I'm waiting from your answer for your answer. What is the meaning of acquisition according to you? Anything which a child learned without being taught. Why any other person or teacher is acquisition? Why any other person or teacher is acquisition? Okay, see, acquisition is the acquired contents that person can have according to its surrounding, its learning capacity. That means what I can acquire within me. Yes, it's by okay. See, what I can acquire within me is most important. Like how I'm acquiring the knowledge. So I may be a very good reader. So because of this reading skill, I'm acquiring the knowledge, and then I'm passing on this knowledge to you. That's acquisition only. So either I'm acquiring the knowledge by social media, or acquiring the knowledge by reading books, or acquiring the knowledge with the help of a teacher. That's all acquisition, because it's the known fact what I'm learning from the sources, the materials which is around me. And because of that, what knowledge I'm having, that will become my acquisition. Understand or not? So my personality is my acquisition, my acquired values. My way of speak is my acquisition. My what you call thought process is my acquisition, because with my experience I have acquired it. I hope, Ruchi, today you got the answer. Again, this time usko chhodna mat. ठीक है? So language acquisition is perceived, the capacity through which we have learned or acquired the outer informations in a terms of language. That is also a type of acquisition. It is also a type of what? It is also a type of acquisition. We have acquired it from the outside source. So language is also acquisition only. This language might be vocal with a speech or manual as in sign. So डेफिनेटली आइदर स्पीच के थ्रू आ रहा है और वोकल आ रहा है एज इन साइन, ये सब लैंग्वेज एक्विजिशन ही है. लैंग्वेज एक्विजिशन यूजुअली रेफर टू फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज एक्विजिशन which studies infant acquisition of their native language rather than second language acquisition, which deals with acquisition of additional languages. तो यहाँ पे additional language का भी acquisition होता है. additional language का जो acquisition होता है वो होता है interactions के थ्रू, टीचिंग के थ्रू. पहला लैंग्वेज जो हम अक्वायर करते हैं वो बाय बर्थ होता है, क्योंकि हम जब अपने मदर के वूम में होते हैं, मींस व्हेन वी वर इनसाइड आवर मदर womb, from that time only our learning process started, because since then we started interacting with the voices we are hearing. So that since then only Since then only our learning process start and we started acquiring the knowledge. So that's the most important part here. So learning knowledge acquisition is one part. Okay, the capacity to acquire and use language is a key aspect that distinguishes human from other organisms. While many forms of animal communication exist, there have a limited range of non-syntactically structured vocabulary token that lack cross-culture variations between group. That is also a type of acquisition only. So sound, voice, like Ruchi, how we came to know that dog barks and cat mews? If somebody will ask from you that dog is barking and cat is mewing, then how we came to know about it? If somebody will ask you, then how? That's acquired. That's actually acquired because we have learned it. We have learned it. We have understood it that the cat is mewing, the what you call, and the cow is exactly doing more. So this is the language what we have learned or acquired from the surrounding. Nobody taught us. By our own experience, we have got it. Huh? Sometimes it's very difficult. I hope you might have understood this one. So the capacity to acquire and use language is a key aspect that distinguishes human from other organisms. तो अब यहाँ पे हम कॉन्सेप्ट एसोसिएटेड विद एक्विजिशन एंड लर्निंग, पियाजेंट का कॉन्सेप्ट तो हम लोगों ने पढ़ लिया था ना रुचि, एक बार चेक करो पियाजेंट का कॉन्सेप्ट. दिस कॉन्सेप्ट सेड दैट लर्निंग स्टार्ट्स विद एडाप्टेशन, एसिमिलेशन एंड एकोमोडेशन. Okay, it also said that classification was also important to learning language. Certain words and sound need to be grouped together to better understand and use them in speech. So that's also very important part. Now concept of Chomsky ने ज्यादातर सी यहाँ पे पिएजेंट का कॉन्सेप्ट क्या था, उन्होंने एडाप्टेशन, एसिमिलेशन एंड एकोमोडेशन को ज्यादा वैल्यू दिया. Adaptation, assimilation and accommodation. ओके, एडेप्टेशन, एसिमिलेशन एंड एकोमोडेशन, चॉम्स्की का कॉन्सेप्ट में ये था, उन्होंने इसको ज्यादा वैल्यू दिया. मगर जो सॉरी पेजेंट ने इसको वैल्यू दिया. सर्टेन वर्ड साउंड नीड टू बी ग्रुप टुगेदर फॉर अ बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ही गिव वैल्यू टू दैट. ओके, कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ चोम्स्की. ना चोम्स्की का क्या था कि उन्होंने लर्निंग डिवाइस मीन्स लैंग्वेज एंड लर्निंग डिवाइस को बहुत मतलब उन्होंने कहा कि हर एक इंसान के अंदर एक लर्निंग डिवाइस होता है और वो लर्निंग डिवाइस अलग वर्क करता है, जो कि एक हाइपोथेटिकल टूल है जो कि वायर्ड है हार्ड ब्रेन के साथ. और ये जो है ब्रेन के साथ कंसेप्ट ओके ब्रेन के साथ कोऑर्डिनेट करके हमको लर्निंग और टीचिंग का एक डिफरेंट लेवल ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस प्रोवाइड करता है. तो ये अपने में एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है. यू मस्ट रिमेम्बर दिस वन. ओके, सो इसको एक बार याद रखना. दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट ओनली. नाउ नेक्स्ट, वोत्स्की कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लर्निंग एंड एक्विजिशन. वोत्स्की का क्या कहना था? वोत्स्की वाज ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट सोशल इंटरैक्शन प्लेड एन इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ कोग्निशन. कोग्निशन इज लर्निंग टीचिंग कैपेसिटी, कोग्निशन इज माइंड डेवलपमेंट. ओके, कोग्निशन इज टोटली रिलेटेड टू थिंकिंग. सो आप कैसे सोचते हो, कोग्निशन इज दैट पावर. अंडरस्टूड? सो वो जो मेंटल कोग्निशन है, दैट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. बेटा फ्रॉम डाउन यू ब्रिंग मैथ्स बुक. Today science also I will teach. Got it? So wo cognition is a play very important content concept related to learning teaching method. Okay, Now next, according to him, community also plays a certain role in process of making meaning, and learning is a necessary and universal aspect of process of developing culturally. In other words, higher mental process in the individual have their origin in social process. So ये भी एक बहुत important concept है. Okay, now Pavlov concept of learning, हम लोग यहाँ पे थे. What is Pavlov concept of learning? This you must be remembering that मैंने बोला था कि Pavlov जो थे उनका concept जो है वो classical conditioning में था. Pavlov, he has done one thing. You know what? He made one chamber. In that chamber, he kept a dog. After that, you should knock, get the book, and come back. Yeah, we were doing Pavlov concept. That's what. So वहाँ पे क्या था? He kept a dog inside a room. After that, every day he used to put bell. After that, when the bell was rung, the dog used to hear it, and after that, he used to serve food to the dog. So this he did for 1 month. Understood? Then one certain day, he put call bell, but he did not give food. He wanted to know he wanted to know the reaction of the dog. In reaction, how the dog reacted, the dog started barking because the dog was expecting food. So as usual, the dog was in habit of getting food after that call bell, but he did not got food. So in return, what he did, he started scratching the door. So his reaction was very weird. So that is called as conditioning. Understood or not? So that's the concept of classical conditioning. How every day you got habituated of taking breakfast. So one day if you will not eat breakfast or skip breakfast, your mind will not be coordinating with the work. Understood or not? So everything is inside our brain. So that's a very important example related to it. So what happened? So this is exactly conditioning. So learning is also one of the acquisition what human is doing, and how we are acquiring the knowledge, that's also very important to know. So when we acquire the knowledge by outside or the social platform or anywhere, we used to use it in our own interactive way. That's one of the most important part. So here, according to classical conditioning, is a reflexive or automatic type of learning in which a stimulus acquires the capacity to invoke the response. Yes, every stimulus generates an response. Understood or not? So for every input, there is an output. Understood? So what you feed in, same type result you will get. So one seed you are putting inside soil means definitely will be expecting something to grow out of that seed. Understood or not? Under certain circumstances. So these are informations. So 100% Pavlov conditioning is ki how you condition a student, result will come accordingly. So it totally depends upon the environment, the teacher, the material, and the surrounding which is exactly present with the student. Accordingly, the grooming of the student will be done. The learning of the student will be done. The understanding of the student will be generated according to that only. So these are many factors. These are many important things that is associated with learning. I hope you might have understood. So classical conditioning is based on habit formation. Pavlov was the view that human learn due to some stimulus. 100%, na, it's correct only. See, some student, na, once you will generate a habit inside them to study in night. After 1 month of classical training, you don't have to wake up that student. Their biological clock will automatically work, and night they will find something to study for. So you need to train. So only in any sports training is needed. Understood? So when we join any firm or company, they give a training. Why they're giving a training? Because they know that once the training has been done, after the training period, ninth class maths book beta, main door. You come, I'll call her. Just 2 minutes. This class will finish, means I'll start your class. Okay. You did not knock, na? Calling bell, no, you have duck, 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 duck. Akka, akka, you have to say. Akka is deaf only. You brought NCRT book? Take out NCRT book. So this is exactly classical conditioning. So once you train someone, the output will be coming according to the training. That's a very important part. So now language development in children. Communication between people who knows each other and respect each other is one of the most important factor in language development in a child. So 100% communication built up the knowledge. That's most important. Please don't forget. Children need to learn language in order to understand things around them. It is through language that they express their feeling and communicate with others. With the development of language only, the children are able to represent and express new ideas and complex matters. So this is the most important part. The complex matters and the new ideas will be generated and will be given through communication. So communication built up the knowledge level inside a person. Through communication only, you can be able to teach. Come here, Ray. Through communication only you will be able to teach a student. इधर से through communication you will be able to teach the student, and in absence of right now I am communicating, so through audio and video mode you are connected to me. So when audio and video mode is there to connect to us, then only you will be able to get that information, otherwise it is not possible. So these are some things which is exactly interpreting the relation between the teaching learning process. In absence of this, this is not possible. So these are some classical conditioning concepts that is exactly given by Pavlov. The Pavlov is one of the person who has given the concept of conditioning. Okay, shall we start with a bar graph? This part and this part. 2.1 exercise. We will start with bar graph because I taught you now how to do bar graph. Make the bar graph of this and this one. After that, I'll check this one out. Inclusive, exclusive, everything I taught now. Now start doing the right NCRT exercise 12.1 and start doing. So initial stage of learning development, language development. So what and all are the stages of language development? Now we will go for stage of language development. Okay, first stage, second stage, like that stages of language development we will do. The first stage of language development, according to you, what is the first stage of language development? So if somebody will be asking you, how can we develop language? Then you will say, I learned language on my own. Since childhood, I'm knowing the language. That is not. Mathematics is also a language. Science, when you study, there are particular words that is a part of language. So definitely, here you have to understand two, three very important factors. First is initial stage of language development. Desire to communicate start at birth. Understood? This is first one. This is what? Second one is babies learns quickly how to get their need met by crying, cooing, and making eye contact with their immediate family. So this is a way to communicate. Hey, शुरू कर. This is a way to communicate. This is a way to interact with the family people to get out the things what we are actually wanting from the family person. This is exactly a way of interaction. This is a way of asking the things from the family people. And this is initial stage of language acquisition. Understood or not? So words are the most important tool through which the child gets connected to the family. So only learning language or words is very important. Specifically, one language is very important to content to the people with. Through words, only a child store information and part with their feeling and experiences. So this is one thing that is one of the most important part. Children as young as 3 years of age already possess a remarkable knowledge of language, structure and syntax, which is so complex and precise that it must challenge any known learning theory to accept to account for its acquisition. So this is one most important and acceptable fact what you can say about. Understood? So when we acquire language, when we learn, either we are in a small age or we are in that age where we can be able to acquire a language. It is acquisition after understanding and knowing the fact. Understood or not? Like first time I taught you how to run a mixer grinder. Understand this. So mixer grinder first time you learn. After that, second time you seek someone's help. Third time you will teach someone. Why? Because now you have acquired the understanding of using a mixer grinder. That's called as learning and acquisition. So once you acquire the fact how you can use, you will become master of it and you can teach it to someone around you. That is the process of learning and teaching happens. It's not like always classroom learning and teaching. You're understanding? This is not one part of classroom. The teaching is out of classroom. Everywhere, a mother is teaching a daughter, a mother is teaching a son, and that is a life lesson. That things are totally different. I hope you might have understood. So, actual stage of language development. What and all are the actual stage of language development? So, first initial stage of childhood can be preparation time for learning a language. The language development starts with the oral expression which a child uses to express himself, and they will be exactly either sentence or words or complex structures, or by making the body language they are trying to interpret the information and give it to the parents. Understood? After a child start going to school, child development ability to read as well as write. Slowly the child become proficient to all type of learning skills. That is also different. Now language development does help him not only in using language as an expression tool, but through proficiency. That's also development different. So development of vocabulary. So vocabulary development, if somebody will be asking you, then what you are going to say? So development of vocabulary in the initial year of growing up children, vocabulary also grows, understood, many folds. The children typically understand or recognize more words than they use speak. So when the child is 1 or more and a half year old, they understand more words than he speaks. That's one of the most important thing. So how much they are understanding more than that they are speaking. And sometimes it is matching with the content, sometimes it is not matching with the content. And slowly, they will master the art of speaking. Ruchi, are you understanding this part? From birth to 8 month child, vocabulary will be zero. They will, whatever they are speaking is of no use. Understood? From 9 months to 1 year, 3 to 4 words they are speaking. This is very important and this is coming in examination. Up to 1 to 1/2 year, 10 to 12 words. ये एक बार याद रखना है इसको, 10 to 12 वर्ड्स होता है. अप टू 2 years 272 वर्ड्स. उसके बाद 3 years to 6 months 1250 वर्ड्स मीन्स नियरली 100 to 20, 100 to 100 to sorry 1200 words they can be able to speak. So this is also very important. Now 4 years 5 years, 4 years 1600, 5 years 2100, 11 years 50,000, 14 years 80,000, 16 years and ahead more than 1 lakh million words the student is exactly able to capture and grip in their brain. It will be related to their learning skills, surrounding and everything, like important, beautiful, ugly, smile, culture, illiterate. These are all words only. They will be acquiring different type of vocabulary words. So vocabulary learning क्या होता है? अब इसको एक बार देख लेते हैं. वोकैबुलरी लर्निंग में हम क्या करते हैं? Vocabulary learning of a child in different age group is shown below. Child reaches a school age and head of kindergarten, उस समय वो around 2000 words सीख चुका होता है. Talking and reading are very good source of vocabulary development in a child. Vocab is very very important. अगर हम patient word use करते हैं, अगर हम child word use करते हैं, अगर हम book use करते हैं, तो हम book को book बोल सकते हैं, हम walk नहीं बोल सकते. Because this vocab and the way of pronunciation both are very very reflexive. So how you are keeping the vocabulary learning with you, that much interaction will increase with public. Understand not? If you have many content to spell out, to spread out and to invite out for the others to have communication with you, it will act as a plus point for you. That's a simple process. I hope you might have understood this one. So it is important to encourage children vocabulary development so that they develop the language and literary skill necessary to succeed in school. So vocabulary is most important. I hope you might have understood strategies to increase vocabulary. Now, what in all vocabularies? What are the strategies we can be used? So to increase the vocabulary, follow your children leads. Follow your children lead. If parent talk about interest, there the child may pay attention and learn new words. Don't bombard one child with new words. It's not good. So you cannot bombard. Interest has to be there inside children. Children need to hear a word repeatedly. If they will be hearing it again and again, like many times now, some parents they keep on speaking some words. So when when they keep on speaking some words, it comes in the mind of the student. So sometimes that in home some bad words are used again and again, a father is using bad word, you will be seeing very easily the child will use the word in school, definitely, and after that both father and child will be there in school for acquisition of new word from the principal. So children need to hear a word repeatedly, then they will acquire it. Help one child to understand what new word means. So if I am using a word tool, सो टूल वर्ड को समझना बच्चे के लिए बहुत जरूरी है। बार बार हम कहते हैं ये जो है वो एक टूल है, ये एक टूल है, टूल है, टूल है। टूल क्या चीज का टूल है? बैठने का टूल है या कि इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जिसको हम यूज कर सकते हैं? म्यूजिक में यूज कर सकते हैं इस टूल को, कि हम इसको घर में व्हाट यू कॉल एज एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज कर सकते हैं, और इसको हम कारपेंट्री में इस टूल को यूज कर सकते हैं, या एक टूल ये एक स्किल की तरह है। तो इसका मतलब क्या हो गया? टूल वर्ड को हम डिफरेंट तरीके से यूज कर रहे हैं। अब यहाँ डिफरेंट तरीके से जब हम टूल वर्ड को यूज कर रहे हैं तो उसका वर्ड के साथ इंटरैक्शन और उसका यूज को भी हमको चाइल्ड को बताना पड़ेगा। Understood. So along with speaking new words, some actions or gestures should follow. It really helps in acquiring new word easily. Understood or not? So in next part, I'm going to go for the question answers. Okay, Ruchi. So I've finished the chapter. One time full revision we have done. Now chapter exercise we are going to go with. Huh? ओके इसको थोड़ा चेंज करना पड़ेगा, क्वेश्चन फॉर्मेट को मैं चेंज करके क्वेश्चन में कन्वर्ट कर दूंगी। ओके बाय बाय। कम बेटा।